Hey guys, SD here. So here we are, another spoiler cast. Walking Dead just got done, and man, did a lot of stuff go down today. Of course, if you remember, last week we wrapped up. I'm pulling up my notes now. Last week we wrapped up with Rick and the gang being caught by this group of mysterious survivors. Fuzzy in my hair. Mysterious survivors. However, our episode tonight does not start out with that. It was starting to look like they were gonna like drag that out till next week. Do that bait and switch type thing where they're like, oh no, you want to see what happens to them? Tune in for 3 more episodes, and we'll finally tell you. No, this week's episode starts out with Ezekiel and his kingdom people doing another goods exchange with the saviors. And of course, douchebag Medushi decides he wants to throw his weight around with Richard again and, demands Richard's gun, saying something like bad boys don't get guns or something like that. And Richard protests and everyone draws guns and it's, this big deal. And so Morgan steps in and smacks people around with his stick a little bit. And long story short, both Richard and Morgan get their weapons taken away. They take Morgan's stick and they're all, this can't happen anymore. Things are going to have to get visceral or something. Basically threatening that they're going to cave Richard's head in. So, that's really great. Benjamin, little squire to Morgan there, stepped up a bit and smacked some people around with his stick as well, which got him the thumbs up from some people. But Ezekiel isn't so proud of him and tells him you kind of need to back off on that. Just because you know how to fight now doesn't mean you should. So that went great. At this point, Daryl had spotted all of them, coming back, and he's all up in their grill about, hey, you sell the saviors, right? What's going on? And he encounters Richard, who's now trying to practice with the bow and arrow because he's not allowed to have guns around the saviors anymore. So he's practicing with the bow and arrow, and he's really not that good of a shot. Gives Daryl a crossbow. Sweet. Daryl's finally reunited with his one true love, the crossbow. Maybe second true love, because we'll get into that in a little while later. So he gets his crossbow, and he and Tricky Dick are going to bond, and they make plans to go take out the saviors. So they go to set up an ambush, and while Richard is explaining his ambush plans to Daryl, Daryl's kind of thinking this isn't sounding right, because Richard's basically saying, yeah, so we're going to ambush this group that just came and got our stuff, and we're going to set fire to their things. We're going to leave tracks back to this weapons cache that they planted that will then also lead tracks back to some random woman who just happens to live outside of the kingdom and Ezekiel has a thing for, and they'll probably kill her, and that'll get Ezekiel mad. He'll join the fight against the saviors. And Daryl's sitting here like, what you're gonna sacrifice some random person? And Richard's all, no, it's cool, she's got bigger balls than both of us combined, which of course rings alarm bells in Daryl's head, because who does he know who's a she who has bigger balls than most men combined? So he starts demanding a name. Richard finally admits that, yeah, it's Carol. Does not go over well with Daryl at all, and bam, that's the end of that plan to ambush and start a war between Kingdom and the Saviors. Richard's not happy, but Daryl's fine with it, because he's saving off saving Carol from being left as bait or whatever. Let's see. If you keep track of the words of the night during the commercial breaks, for that contest thing, first word tonight was weapon. So, do with that as you will. Then we go back from commercial break, and we finally get back to Rick and the gang, and they're talking with the group that's taken them, and they're talking in really like kind of archaic, weird, twisty phrasings, and they obviously haven't communicated with many people lately, and they're demanding that Rick buy his life back. But of course Rick's like, oh no, my life belongs to the saviors. You guys have to deal with them now, unless you join us. And they're all like, please, we're not going to join you. So they bring Gabriel out, who is now just standing there in a wife beater. You know, they took off his, they defrocked him. They defrocked the poor freak priest. And words get exchanged, and, there's some threats that are made, and people start fighting back. And Gabriel, apparently this defrocking helped him grow some balls, because he disarms somebody and takes a hostage and threatens to kill her off unless they, listen to Rick and join it. More random names like Tamriel, or maybe it was Pamriel, or the names that I'm hearing, they're clicking in my head, reminding me of something that is definitely not The Walking Dead. But at this point, I'm just kind of paying attention and watching and enjoying the show because it's real fun. So the leader of the group takes Rick up to the up, which is like standing up on top of one of the trash piles because they're in the middle of a dump, like a literal trash dump. And they're standing on top of the trash piles, and she's like, okay, no, you guys have to prove yourselves, and pushes him off the top of the trash pile. Just pushes him right down. Where he is now in this pit with an armored zombie. Which, immediately, this is where I click with the names and everything else. I'm watching Skyrim. This zombie is like full armor, spikes, chest guards, everything. It's like something straight out of Skyrim. He's now gonna fight it off, and it's just like really surreal. It's really, really surreal. So he fights the thing, of course, and he wins, of course. He does get injured because, he tries to hold back the zombie head with one hand and gets it impaled on one of the spikes on, this thing's face mask and everything else. But he eventually winds up killing it and proving himself, and they cut a deal where they will help, like, Rick and the gang has to go get weapons for them in order to prove themselves even more, and then they'll join in the fight against the Saviors. And they let everyone loose. Like, everyone gets to leave. Yay, everyone's happy. And Gabriel explains that he didn't just decide to up and leave with all their supplies. Basically, he caught one of these people inside Alexandria attempting to steal the supplies themselves because they were pissed. Apparently, they had been watching the boat where they took everything and waiting for someone else to get it, and they were supposed to ambush that person, take all the stuff from them because they didn't actually want to go after the boat to get it. And so when Gabriel caught them, they took him hostage and forced him to steal everything and drive away with it. So Gabriel was not trying to escape, and that's why he left the note about the boat. He was trying to tell them, hey, come find me. These people are hanging out near the boat. Anywho, so that goes down, they're leaving, they're heading back. And we do hear from them a little bit, because of course, Rosita's doing that whole, oh no, I'm going to take out we're going to fight the Saviors, and nothing's going to stop me from doing that, I'm going to go look for weapons, and Tara's all like, no, we can't, we have to hold it together, we have to get everyone back and be safe and everything. And now, we're realizing Tara's kind of stuck, because if you remember last season, Tara wound up at that one settlement in the middle of nowhere, and basically she promised them that she would not reveal their location to anybody. And so far she's kept that promise. But you could see in her eyes that she's remembering this place because they have to find weapons. They have to find weapons now. They have to find a lot of weapons. This place had a lot of weapons. Is she going to sell out this little community just to help her people, or what's going to go on there? I'm pretty sure that's the train of thought that they're following because of the, constipated look Tara got on her face at one point where when Rick was asking her, you've been out further than any of us. Do you have any idea of things to look for? And she goes, I'll think about it. Or something like that. Anyway, so now we get the Carol-Daryl reunion that we've been waiting for. Daryl follows Ezekiel's people when they make a house call on Carol to drop off some cobbler, which it looks like it really got messed up in the backpack of some dude. And, there's hugs and tears, and everyone's happy and sad, and Carol tries to explain why she left to Daryl, because Daryl's all like, why'd you leave me? And, okay, don't get me wrong, I love the two of them, and I love the platonic relationship that they have, and it's amazing and it's great. But Carol admits that, She left because she knew if she stayed and anyone got hurt, she would go and kill all the saviors and lose what remains of herself, her soul, or whatever. She doesn't say the word soul, but you can tell that's what she's thinking. And so she asked what happened. She asked Daryl what happened after I left. Did the saviors come? And Daryl lies through his teeth to protect Carol. He lies and tells her the saviors came, we fought, we struck a deal, everyone at home's fine. They're all fine. So he doesn't tell her about Abraham or Glenn or Olivia or well, actually, does he know about Olivia? He might know about Olivia because he showed up just after that. But basically, he tells her nothing, and leaves her happy and content, and he goes back to the main kingdom area and tells Morgan, "Hey, dude, you need to talk to Ezekiel because something needs to happen. I'm headed back to Hilltop. But before I head back, I'm gonna have a staring contest with this damn tiger and show him who's boss, or her. I'm sorry, she was a girl tiger. Staring contest with the tiger, bows her into submission, and she wants pettings from Daryl. Because really, who doesn't? And so he winds up leaving. The second word of the night was hunt. So now you got weapon and hunt, and you can go off and fill it in wherever. I keep thinking that I'm going to do that, and then I never do it. I just kind of forget about it. And my last note got cut off here. So there's a staring contest with the tiger, and he leaves. And yeah, that's pretty much the episode. We got next week's episode. Looks like it's going to focus on Eugene and Dwight and things that are happening back at the Savior compound. So we're going to get to see more of Negan. Lots and lots of Negan. Everyone loves Negan. Everyone loves to hate Negan or just loves Negan or, just has a wild time with Negan overall. So just, very, very quick recap. Daryl's heading back to Hilltop. Carol's in the dark on everything. Morgan's lost his stick. Rick and the gang have to head back to lick their wounds and go find more weapons. And that's pretty much everything of importance. I hope you enjoyed this recap. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, have things you want me to focus more on in the future, feel free to leave that below or shoot me an email, sdr@gmail.com. And until next week, which should be interesting because I'll be out of town and I have to figure out how I'm going to watch the episode in order to recap it for all of you. But until then, this is SD out. Bye.